I'd like to see it run in the most efficient manner possible. I'd like to run it like it was all my money and I was going out to buy it. I'd like to save as much as possible. I'm not sure what law it says, but I'm pretty sure that there's one saying that there must be leisure time and things set up for inmates. Also, a state law says that you can set up a canteen operated by the inmates if the proceeds are used strictly for entertainment of the inmates. I feel that right there would help a lot. It would take the burden off the taxpayers of paying for the inmates' entertainment. That'd be strictly what it could be used for. Under state law, it's the only thing it can be used for. Also, like on a lot of little maintenance details, I think it would be the jailer's responsibility to maybe to even do them, not necessarily go out and hire somebody to come in and do 10 minutes worth of work and get paid $50. I'm not saying that's happened. I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just saying that it should be the responsibility of the jailer to do minor maintenance work on the buildings and try to save taxpayers even more money.
I was a little amazed that we had this many candidates running for jailer. You lead the ticket. My question is, what is your number one priority as jailer for Calloway County? And if you'll do just a mini self-evaluation, give us the strongest contribution you think you can make to this office.
Well, if I become elected as jailer, my top priority would be the safety of all citizens in Calloway County. I think that that is top priority anywhere. And another priority that I would have, it would reach way up there. I think we ought to get the churches more involved with these prisoners. Church-going people don't end up in jail half as much as people that don't. And that's where we need to work. Try to keep them out of there instead of having to house them when we get them in there. And another field that I think that I'm good in is a budget. I've been in business for 30 years. I've paid my bills every month. I don't think anybody in Calloway County can say that I owe them. And if you can balance your budget on a little small 3 or 4 man business and run a great deal a year, you can balance your budget up there to where that you have 6 or 8 running. You've got to balance that budget too, and I think it's really important. And the money of Calloway County people is important to me, and the care of Calloway County people is important to me. Thank you.
Yeah, I felt like the work program I was talking about to try to benefit Calloway County and things might keep the younger kids that comes in and everything from getting in serious trouble and everything if they had to get out and do something instead of just staying in there and not have to work or nothing. And I feel like there plenty of lots around everything, the elderly people that we could do the work on their house and everything and help them out that's not able to do it themselves. Thank you.
My top priority probably would be the safety of the inmates, to keep the county from being liable to get any kind of lawsuit which cost the county, be involved in a lawsuit and cost the county any considerable amount of money. Their safety would be my main priority.
I would try to run the jail as efficiently as I could with the budget that is allowed for it. As one of the candidates mentioned about the work release program, there's already a work release program in effect, I'm sure, in the jail.
Yes, sir.
It's been in effect for some time. That could be expanded, but of course that is the circuit court, and the district court has control over that, along with the county judge. So you have to be a person that can work with all types of people, and I feel like I can. I've been in many work positions and in business for myself, and I feel like I'm capable of working with each and every one that would be involved in it.
I believe in answer to your question, Mr. Apperson, in a way you were asking us kind of what our qualifications were and what we had to offer. I was chief deputy for Wimpy, my father, for 15 years. And last year after his retirement, I was appointed to fill his position. And I believe I was trained under probably the best jailer the state of Kentucky's ever seen. I may be a little biased, but I feel that way. And I believe that my training that I have with the Bureau of Corrections, over 150 hours, plus the training I've had under my father and my experience, will be what I could offer the people of Callaway County.
I believe I could offer the people a high level of discipline in running a jail and overseeing it. Having served in the United States Marine Corps for 4 years in places like Lebanon in a wartime situation, I pretty well understand the necessity of operating in a very efficient and disciplined manner. You can't have people coming in and saying something and you just jump in right then and sort of jump into conclusions on anything. I believe that the safety of all people, inmates and citizens of Callaway County, would be the #1 priority in anything. As they've said, one would say that safety of citizens would be the highest, and the other one say the safety of inmates. I believe both of them put together would be the best way to handle that situation. Just
having been in business in Callaway County for some 20 years, I think gives me some insight into how to manage people in situations. Worked at a place once where I managed 15 employees. Also, I would like to thank the school and the people for this forum that they were putting on. Thank you.
Personally, do you feel that the physical structure in which we're holding the prisoners now is adequate? And if not, what changes do you think need to be made?
I feel like it's adequate and everything. Like we was talking before, the population just gets so big where the state can't have it, and then we would have to expand it. And I mean, but until we do, I mean, that would save a lot of people tax monies if we could keep them there instead of expanding it. Thank you.
I feel like it's probably adequate at this time, but if inmate situation keeps increasing, it probably in the future it won't be adequate. But at this time, I feel like that it is, and there probably could be a few changes made, maybe as far as inmates are concerned, which is going to rise in the future anyway. As far as the ones that's incarcerated down there for a period of time, they're going to have, as Jerry said, an exercise program, which is coming. It's going to have to be some new construction done as far as on the outside part for a exercise yard for the outside, for inmates, and I believe that's coming in the future, but I believe it can be adequate.
The Corrections Department examines and inspects the jails twice a year, and this report is given to the jailer and to the county court, and also goes into the state. The jail has passed those inspections or it would not be still in operation. So I feel like the facility at this time is safe.
Our facility is safe construction-wise, but we are a little bit short on space, and that's coming in the very near future. As I talked about earlier, a new jail is not out of the question for Kentucky and for Callaway County in the very near future.
I'd have to agree with Jerry. I don't have that many, haven't had that much dealings with the jail. Just looking at it, it looks like it's structurally sound, but you can tell by looking at it too that it's also small. I don't know how many cells are inside, and I don't know how many inmates are in a cell. But if there's more than 4 or 5 people in there at a time, I would say that conditions in there are pretty crowded. I sort of agree with him. It's a period of time till we get a new and larger facility.
Yes, I feel like basically like they do that it's probably adequate for the best that we can do with what monies is being spent. In the near future, we do need to acquire more monies to have a bigger and a larger jail. But to answer the question, the physical structure probably is adequate at this point.
I haven't been down there even to inspect it any, but I would say that it's adequate for the present. Jerry, he's down there. He ought to give us a better answer on that than anybody else. But we got to abide by the laws, and we're just going to have to build a newer jail, I'm sure, because other counties are doing it, and we'll be in the works. We ought to look in the future.